Hello learners, this is Jyoti Mandral. I am an assistant professor in Department of Management Studies at Uttarakhand Open University. In this lecture, we are going to study about primary market. As in the earlier lecture, I have already told you regarding the financial market. After that, we covered the primary market. Then we have studied the working of primary market. After that, we have covered primary market functions, then the instruments of primary market, and at last we have covered types of primary market issuance. So in the last lecture, as we have covered some topic regarding the primary markets, in today's lecture we will be covering some other things regarding the primary market. So in today's lecture we will cover primary market share issue process, that what will be the process of issuing shares in the primary market. After that we will cover advantages of primary market. After that we'll study disadvantages of primary market, and at last we will cover primary market effect on the economy. So now let's start. Firstly, let's start with the primary market securities issuing procedure. So, a number of steps are involved in the primary market securities issuance process, including the first one is prospectus preparation. A legal document that contains information about the securities being issued is called the prospectus, such as the issuer's financial details, risk, and terms and conditions. The business prepares it and submits it to the securities regulator. So when any organization or any firm is going to issue securities in the primary market, their first function, that will be the very first step which they are going to take, that is preparing a prospectus. Prospectus will be containing all the details regarding the company, and after preparing this prospectus, the company will submit it to the securities regulator. Now the second step, that is designing underwriters and lead managers. To handle the problem, the business assigns underwriters and senior managers. In addition to ensuring regulatory compliance, they assist in pricing the securities and marketing the issuance to investors. The third step, that is securities pricing. So the issuer's financial stability and market demand are taken into consideration by the lead managers and underwriters when setting the price of the securities. So after this, securing the prices, the next step, that is securities allocation. Investors can subscribe for the securities when the prices is decided. Investors are given securities according on the availability of securities and their subscriptions. So this securities allocation, once the prices are set, once the firm has set the prices, now this now the general public, they can apply for this, and the prices are decided, investors are given securities. But see what the company will do, they will give securities to the investors on the basis of the availability of the securities. Suppose if any investor is asking for 100 shares, so firstly they will see if this 100 shares are possible or not. If they will be possible, then only the company, they will be giving this shares to the investors. Now after this next step, that is stock exchange listing. Following the allocation of securities, the securities are made available for trading on the stock exchange. Investors can now purchase and sell securities on the secondary market thanks to this. Now we have seen the process of how this securities are issued in the primary market. Now the next thing, that is advantages of primary market. So the primary market has various advantages. Some of the merits of primary market are as follows. The first advantage, that is access to securities. By investing in the new issue market, investors have the first opportunity to purchase securities issued by companies which can give them a competitive advantage over secondary market investors. So here access to securities, because in the primary market it is known as the new issue market. So as compared to the secondary market, here you have an advantage. You can get the securities firstly, means before the secondary market. So you have a competitive advantage in the primary market as compared to the secondary market investors. The second one, that is potential for capital appreciation. If the company performs well and its stock price increases, investors may benefit from capital appreciation, which would increase the value of their investment. Investing in primary market securities may also offer the possibility of higher returns when compared to other investment options such as bonds or fixed deposits. So it is saying that the second advantage of primary market, that is potential of capital appreciation. Here in the companies, they have a potential to appreciate, to increase the value of their capital. The third advantage of primary market, that is decision making authority. In the new issue market, investors have greater decision making authority. This is due to the fact that they are able to base their investment decisions on their own investigation and evaluation. So this is the advantage of primary market, that the people, or means they have a decision making authority. The investors, they will have a decision making authority. They can take their decisions on their own basis. The next one, that is potential for better returns. Purchasing securities in the primary market may offer the chance for potentially better returns, that is contrasted with alternative investment choices such as bonds or fixed deposits. Now the next thing, that is demerits or disadvantages of the primary market. So the very first disadvantage is high risk. Since there is no history of the firm's performance and a greater chance of the company failing, investing in new issue market can be risky. So this is a very risky process of issuing the shares, the securities in the primary market. The second disadvantage, that is lack of liquidity. Investors may find it challenging to sell their holdings fast due to securities in the new issue market having limited liquidity. Now the next disadvantage of primary market, that is limited knowledge. Investors might not know much about the business, its financial results, or its prospects for the future. Making wise investing decisions may become challenging as a result of this. So in the primary market, the investors, they have a very less knowledge regarding the business. So suppose if any person wants to invest in any business or in any firm, it should have a proper knowledge about that business, then only it should invest in that business. But as in primary market, there is very limited knowledge regarding the business, so it may be very risky for the investor to invest in the primary market. Now the next one, that is possibility of overvaluation. Securities in the primary market may be overpriced, which could cause an investor to pay more than the stock is truly worth. So here again, it is a disadvantage of primary market, that here in primary market there are chances that the securities may be overpriced. Suppose if the securities are overpriced, then the investor will pay more than the worth of that stock. So again, it is a loss of the investor only. Now the next thing, that is primary market effects on the economy. The primary market provides government and businesses with their first source of funding, allowing them to grow and finance new initiatives. The creation of jobs and increased economic activity are two benefits of this capital infusion that support general economic growth. Private placements and initial public offering IPOs are the two of the choices available in the sector. Private placements are only available to a selected group of investors, whereas initial public offering, that is IPOs, are open to the public. Because risk and return profiles might differ, investors must have a thorough awareness of such types distinctive features in order to make wise investment choices. It is essential to carefully evaluate investment objectives and risk tolerance. So, in this lecture, as we have covered the process of issuing securities in the primary market, after that we have studied the various advantages of primary market. After that we have covered the demerits of primary market, and at last we have studied the effect of primary market on the economy. I hope all the topics of this primary market are clear to you. So that's all for today. Thank you.